Now to look at electricity generation. Fossil fuel power stations convert chemical energy to electrical energy. There are intermediary energy transfers in place, but overall it's a conversion from chemical energy to electrical energy. The fuel is burnt, that generates heat energy, and the heat boils water to make high pressure superheated steam. This steam then rises and is used to turn a turbine. The turbine then generates the electricity. Natural gas fired power stations don't use steam. The natural gas itself is burnt, and this produces hot gases, and these gases turn the turbine directly. So we don't need to boil the water and turn it into steam. For this diagram of an electricity generator, we can see in the boiler, fuel is added to the boiler, it's burned, it then turns the water to steam. The steam rises and turns the turbine. That kinetic energy is then converted through the turbine to electrical energy. So the input energy originally is chemical, and that is converted to electrical eventually. But the chemical is burned, that then heats water, so it's converted from chemical to heat. The heat is converted to gravitational potential as the steam rises. It turns a turbine, which is kinetic energy, which then creates the electrical energy. In a nuclear power station then, it converts nuclear energy, not chemical this time, but nuclear energy, into electrical. So we don't burn the fuel in this case. Instead, it undergoes a fission reaction. So heavy nuclei split apart, giving out a lot of energy, and that then heats water, turns it into steam, and the steam turns the turbine to create electrical energy. So we have nuclear energy being converted to electrical energy in that case. In terms of the non-renewable fuels then, a comparison between the nuclear and the fossil fuel. Well, neither is renewable. So they're both in the same category in terms of the renewable aspect. Nuclear has advantage over fossil fuels because it produces no greenhouse gases. When we burn fossil fuels, we are creating CO2, which is contributing to the greenhouse effect. But nuclear fuel does not produce greenhouse gases because we're not actually burning it. A drawback to the nuclear fuel is that the startup time is much slower. For oil, you could start up an oil-fired power station in about 5 hours, but a nuclear power station takes at least 50 hours to get started up. So that's 2 days as opposed to 5 hours. However, nuclear is desirable because it's more efficient. It's a lot more energy dense source of fuel and produces significantly more energy per unit or per kilogram of fuel. But there are larger risks associated with nuclear power in terms of not only the nuclear waste that's produced by it and the safe disposal of that nuclear waste, but the control of a nuclear reaction. So we have larger risks to people working in the power station and living nearby, but there are also more stringent controls.